Hello and welcome. I'm Campbell and this is Spiral Up, where we talk about practical things you can use every day to improve your experience and get more of what you want. And today I wanted to talk about semantics and how semantics is really, it's a tool used by your subconscious mind to, well, let's just say the subconscious mind is the great trickster and semantics is one of its favorite tools. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so semantics. Basically, semantics is when you pick out a little piece of information and you use that to discredit the bulk of the information. For example, if you're listening to someone talk about cars and you're a diehard Ford person, and they're talking about cars and you're really into it, and then they start talking about how they love Holdens or Chryslers or Buicks or whatever, and you use that one point to discredit everything else that person has said. That's semantics. And what you do, so this is a trick from your subconscious mind, and what it's doing is it's proving you right, because your subconscious mind will always prove you right. And this is good, obviously, but the trap is when we get into a place where we are stuck in our belief system and everything is cemented and it can't be changed. And because when we hit that point, what happens is when we look at information, we skew that information. And this is to do with our RAS, our reticular activating system. It will only point out the information that makes you correct. So this is the thing, like I said, if you're really into Fords and Fords are the best car ever and everything else is crap, and that's your belief, and that's an immovable concrete belief, then your subconscious mind will use its favorite tool, semantics, to discredit anything that goes against your belief system. So that's how it works. I would be careful of semantics, because this is what science does. This is why science is broken, because what science has done is they have come up with conclusions. So they say, whatever, the earth is this old, man evolved from apes at this point and blah, 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 and all these different facts. And then what they do, because they set those facts in concrete, and then they go about getting information to prove themselves correct. So they're not about truth. They're not about actually finding the truth and actually working out, what the real answer is, because they've already worked out the real answer in their mind. It's worked out and it's concrete. So that's immovable for them. So all their reticular activating system will ever show them is evidence that makes them correct. So anything to the contrary, their brain, their subconscious will pick out little bits and go, oh, well, he said that, so that's all irrelevant now. And so you lose all this information, basically because you're trying to prove yourself correct. And this is how it works. So semantics, obviously I'm a content creator, and I see it all the time in my comments. I'll talk about a topic and I might talk on it for 20 minutes. And some people will go in, and if it's against their belief system, they'll pick out a line, a word, a short phrase, and for them, that's the evidence that they can discredit everything else I've said. And because they do that, they never actually can get to the truth, because they're never actually going to go through the evidence. And of course, I'm not saying that I have all the answers, guys. This is just an example. They're not open enough to go, well, maybe I'm not correct. What evidence is out there? Let's have a look and reassess. Because if you have opinions, thank you, Callum, instead of beliefs, then they're changeable. As far as a belief, the way that we see a belief is it's a concrete, immovable thing. I believe in it, I have belief, it's like faith almost. But if it's an opinion, it's movable. An opinion is just, well, this is how it looks at the moment, but if I get more information, that might change. And if you come at life from that angle, then semantics don't work. Because when you hear something different, your brain will be like, oh, more information, I haven't heard that. Does that fit in or does it not? Because when you get information, you don't have to believe it. You just read it, and if it gels with you and it feels right and it makes sense to all the other information you've got, then you take it on board. If not, then you can disregard it. But also, you don't even have to do that. You can just go, that's interesting, and it can just be information in your mind waiting to link up to other things, because this is how we get like a clear perspective and we make good decisions, is when we get lots of information on the subject from different points of views, then we can assess our own opinion from that. We can get our own perspective. If we're only getting one point of view, we're being told our perspective, we're being told what to think. So this is why we need to get a broad range, and you need to go in and look at the stuff that you think is wrong. Even if it's just to prove that it is wrong, you still need to do that, because if you're in the position where you won't look at something, well then you can't grow, you can't ever find truth, you're stuck in belief instead of opinion, because opinion is freeing. It gives you freedom to think, to grow, to move, to change who you are, to become something different. But belief anchors you to who you are now and makes change pretty hard, because the thing is with belief, again, your subconscious always makes you right. So your beliefs to you will always be right. You know, whether they're correct in the bigger picture or not, they will always be right to you. And so if you act on them all the time, and your awareness is not open to new, ideas and perspectives, then all you can do is go around in the same circle. And it's this whole thing of the law of attraction. Many people say, the law of attraction doesn't work. It doesn't work. New things aren't coming to me. The thing is, new things always do come to you. We're creating the future and the present constantly. The only constant is change, so it's always happening. But for most people, they're changing to the same thing over and over and over again, because they've got the same thoughts. If you think the same thing, then the results you get are going to be the same over and over again. You're just going to be in this cycle going round and round and round. You need to stop and step sideways and start heading in a slightly different direction to get to a different place. It's just, if you keep heading in the same direction, you're just going to keep hitting the same place. So semantics will keep you in your same place. So be very careful. The way to fix this, and the way to fix everything, negative beliefs and all this kind of stuff, is just to notice it in the moment, to catch yourself. And when you start doing this, you'll find that you'll go through things and you'll catch yourself after you've done it, and it'll be like, that's good, okay, you caught it. Next time you'll catch it halfway through, and then before, and you'll get to a point where you'll see things and you'll be like, okay, that's my subconscious mind trying to get me to disregard this information, but I can see that I need to actually look at it to make better decisions, because the subconscious mind is the great trickster, and it's the great trickster in the fact that it always makes you right. And so from your perspective, you're always right. So if you can understand that that's what it's doing, and that you need to rise above that, and that you're actually in charge of your subconscious mind, not the other way around. So if you rise above it and you give it the orders of, well, look, now we're changing, now we need options, we need to get the truth. We don't want to disregard, things because of semantics, because of one sentence or word that someone says. We don't want to. Semantics also makes you draw a conclusion from a small part of information. So you can have a whole, paragraph, and semantics is when you draw a conclusion for that whole paragraph off one line. And clearly you can't do that. It's almost like, it's like it's racism and all this kind of stuff. If you look at a race and you think, oh, well, everyone's all the same. Clearly that's not true. But a lot of people do that, and this is the whole thing. You don't get the information, you don't get deeper into the information to get any perspective. You just write it off, because you're right, of course. Right? So why would you need that information if you're right? Because you're right. But the thing about learning is, the more you know, the more you understand that you need to know. The more you learn, the more you understand that you don't know. It's a journey, and the journey is about opening up your consciousness and your awareness and moving forward. And putting your mind in the place where it can do that, and giving yourself the permission to think for yourself, to trust yourself, to have your own perspective, to understand that other people can have their own perspective and that can be right for them. It doesn't have to be right for you. And what you believe can be right for you. It doesn't have to be right for anyone else. You know, this is the thing, we're all individuals, but we're also part of the collective. So we're all contributors. Yeah, so basically the game down here is awareness and expanding consciousness and learning what we can. And I've said before, if you don't, you know, everything's choice. You get choice. You can live in a box. You can have your beliefs. You can yell at the world for being wrong, and that's fine. You can do that. But if you do, you're just going to have to come back and do it all again and learn the lessons, because this is just the dream, right? This is just life. So don't take it too seriously, because at the end, it's not a stop. It's actually more of an awakening. We leave this meat suit and we can sort of see more at the end. So this is just an experience, guys. Don't take it too seriously. So, you know, don't hold on to beliefs too much. Don't get too annoyed at people who don't believe what you believe, because they don't have to. And if everyone believed what you believed, it'd be a very, very boring grey world. We don't want that. Diversity is the way to go. You know, imagination and diversity in beliefs. This is what we want. Diversity in cultures. And of course, when we look out at the world, this is what's being attacked. So it's up to us to keep our minds open and to teach people by example, and to show people that it's okay. It's okay to not know where you're going. You don't have to know all the answers. You can have opinions and work on them, work on getting better and getting better perspective and learning more. You can do that. You don't have to concrete yourself into a belief system and stay there and then yell at the world when it doesn't fit in line with your beliefs, because ultimately this is all about us, guys. It's all about ourselves, and if we want to change the world, the only way we can do it is to change ourselves, because we create our reality. So everything good in our reality we've created, everything bad we've created. And if you don't see life that way, if you see it as random and everything is being created and thrown at you, well, that means you have to change the world, all 7 billion people, to change your circumstances. But when you understand that it's you that creates the circumstances, all you have to change is you. You know, the man in the mirror or the woman, and the thoughts and beliefs and opinions that are going around in the mind. That's all you need to change the outside world. Change the inner world, you'll change the outside world. So there we go. So semantics, back to semantics. Semantics will keep you where you are. That they will just firm up your belief system to prove yourself right. So they will basically keep you in your box and make that box smaller as well, because as you go forward, you're getting less and less information. So all you're doing is compounding your own beliefs, and you're going to end up somewhere where basically you're going to see the world as the problem, and it's not a good place to be. It's much, much more empowering to understand that you are the power's in you, and you're creating everything. And so if you're open to information, to all types of information, whether it be good or bad, and you trust yourself enough that you can make the decision whether that's right or wrong, then you're fine. You don't have to worry about dismissing information. Because like I said, if you read something or watch something, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to take it on. It's just information. So there we go. My little rant about semantics and how to get rid of them, and how they're really playing against you. It's a tool used by your subconscious mind to keep you where you are, which is really its job. But as I said, you're the master. You need to tell it what its job is. All right, guys, thanks for spending some time with me. Hope you got something out of that. Please give me a like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll talk to you all on the next video. Bye for now.